Hey guys, what's up? Plastic Guy here, coming back with another figure review, and today we're taking a look at this ToyBiz Spider-Man Classics Web Splasher Spider-Man figure. This is a figure I've been wanting to pick up for quite a while. I knew it was out there, and on the channel we have taken a look at his counterpart in the past, but this colour scheme has always stood out to me, and I really especially wanted to pick this thing up after seeing the No Way Home end scene. I think the final swing costume in No Way Home is maybe even inspired by this figure. It's definitely reminiscent of the colour scheme going on here, and it wouldn't be surprising if someone working on that film saw this figure and was inspired to create that final swing costume. The colours are very similar, and I think even, putting No Way Home aside and just looking at this figure, that blue is something else.
This is something else.
I think it's pretty unique. I've not really seen another Spider-Man figure with a blue that really is as sharp as that. I mean, it's awesome, and as I always do, just scrolling through eBay, one popped up the other day and it was a fantastic price. It was cheap as chips, and I thought, why not? I've ordered him, he has arrived, and I definitely want to just take a closer look here in the channel. It might be a bit of a quicker video. As I said, we have already seen the Urban Legends Spidey before, and I do want to compare him and compare him to some other Spider-Man figures as well while we're at it. So let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think of this figure. Do you agree? Do you see the likeness in the final swing costume and this figure here? Let me know if there's any other Spider-Man suits that you think have been inspired by a figure, because another one does spring to mind, and I think it's a pretty good idea. If you were a costume designer, checking out some older figures for inspiration is probably a shout. So yeah, let me know down in the comment section below while you're down there, guys. As always, if you could do me a massive favour, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, and let's not wait any longer. Let's take a closer look at this Web Splasher Spider-Man. And so here is the figure as he arrived on eBay. He didn't come with any accessories, I didn't get the original box or anything like that, but I will shove some pictures here of the original packaging. It's got that, what looks to be Scott Johnson's artwork on it, kind of classic Spidey, and yeah, I'm not too bummed that I didn't get the accessory. Not really something that I'm interested in at all. I'm just happy to have the figure here. And as I've mentioned probably a couple of times now, we took a look at the Urban Legends Spider-Man in a previous video, so feel free to check that out, guys. And I kind of spoke about this figure a wee bit more then. I said about how I wasn't really a fan of this look to Spider-Man originally. I think most of that stems from the head sculpt. It just doesn't really do much for me. And yeah, I skipped on this figure for a while, but this colour scheme was too good to pass up. And recently on my Instagram as well, I put on my story, I saw a picture of the original Spider-Man Classics figure in this colour scheme, and it looked just tremendous. I wish that figure existed. I would pay good money for that original mold with this colour scheme, because this colour scheme is just unreal. And I think that's basically what I was getting at when I originally started talking about this. I love the colours on it, but I'm still not a massive fan of this sculpt. It is of course dated, and comparing him to some other ToyBiz Spideys, which we'll do later in this video, he's definitely not my favourite, but the colours make this thing for me, and I'm really glad to have it. I just wish that the head sculpt was a wee bit better on this thing. It is just, painted, it's a weird kind of shape, very sort of alien-like, very long, and I don't know, the eyes just don't really do it for me. But head sculpt aside, I do actually think the body mold's pretty good, and you can get this thing into some great poses even with the kind of older sculpt. It is maybe not the best proportionate figure, but it is fun to play around with. I think the body mold's great. You can kind of see the red slightly shinier than the red on the Urban Legends here. Definitely a different shade, but it's the blue. The blue on this thing, it's superb. As I said, I've not seen this blue on another Spider-Man figure, and I would love to see like this shiny bright blue on the likes of a Mayfix Spider-Man, or just another Spidey sculpt. I mean, this colour scheme is awesome, and I'll admit it again, when I first seen it, I didn't really think much of it. I did prefer the kind of classic blue to Spidey, but then when I saw that No Way Home final swing, and they released like the hot toy images of the final swing suit from No Way Home, it really won me round on that costume. And then when this thing popped up, it reminded me of the No Way Home suit, and it really made me fall in love with this shiny blue on a Spider-Man suit. So grabbing this figure has really made it worth it for me. I think it looks awesome. Not really too much else to look at. The arms are really long. You get those articulated fingers, which I think is great. I always loved that on the older ToyBiz figures, being able to get them into the thwipping pose with the middle finger articulation. Great ab crunch and everything. I'm going to post a lot of pictures on my Instagram of this figure, so feel free to check that out. I'll leave my Instagram link in the description below, and yeah, you can check out the very mid poses that I get him into. But yeah, I love posing these figures around, and I can't wait to get this one on my Instagram. Let's just compare. I'm losing my speech here. Let's compare him to some other ToyBiz figures. So here we have Web Splasher Spidey next to the Urban Legends Spider-Man, sharing the exact same mold, but we have the different colour schemes here. And I think this one blows this one out of the water. The Web Splasher just looks different level compared to the Urban Legends colour scheme here. As I said before, I did prefer the kind of classic blue in the past, but this one just has like a certain charm to it, like it's indescribable. I think this one looks awesome. And then we have Web Splasher Spidey next to another couple of ToyBiz figures that we've taken a look at on the channel before. Similar to Urban Legends and Web Splasher, we have Sinister Six Spidey and Snapshot Spidey, sharing the same mold but with different colour schemes, apart from the head sculpt of course. And yeah, I do think I prefer the look to the Sinister Six and Snapshot Spidey over the Web Splasher. Just the head sculpts on these guys I think look a lot better. I do really like the sculpt on these guys, but once again, the paint on this is kind of incomparable. Like, it is in a league of its own. I do really like the Snapshot Spidey, the blue they've used on it, but as I said at the start, I'd love to see this more shiny blue on a lot more of these ToyBiz Spider-Man figures. It would be awesome. And then to compare ToyBiz Spidey next to a ToyBiz villain, we have my favourite Green Goblin, and I do think this Green Goblin looks a lot better than this Spider-Man figure. I think the proportions of this are a wee bit off, the head sculpt's pretty weak, and this Green Goblin just looks so damn good, like the texturing in the arms. Proportions are pretty decent. I definitely think the hands look a bit larger, but with it being an older figure, I don't want to judge it too harshly, but it definitely does look a lot better than the Web Splasher Spider-Man in my opinion. But yeah, not too bad. I could definitely pose these together, but I think Green Goblin looks a lot newer of a figure, and they probably came out around the same time, I'm guessing. I think this was 2004 onwards, and I wouldn't be surprised if this Goblin is the same. The foot looks like it says 2005, 2006-ish. So to kind of discuss the articulation a wee bit, I will say the joints on this thing, I don't know if the previous owner had modded this at all, but the joints on this thing are really stiff, which is kind of unheard of for a ToyBiz Spider-Man this old. I don't know if he's like used any sort of figure glue or anything, but I've really had to be careful moving this thing around, and I'm going to continue to be careful in this segment, but you can get the head moving around that far up, that far down, left and right, and yeah, that's about it. Can't pivot it or anything. Get the arm moving really far up, really far into the body, forwards, backwards, and he does have a butterfly joint, and it looks kind of like the paint and everything in there is getting a bit scraped up, which I would expect. And yeah, butterfly joint on this side as well, which is a lot harder to move. It's a lot stiffer, I'm finding at the moment, but it is there. Same articulation in this arm. A great ab crunch. As I said, posing this thing around is actually a lot of fun. Good range of movement in it. Can move it right back as well. Rotate at the waist there. He's got the ball jointed hips. And once again, the kind of legs, the joints here were very stiff at first. They've loosened off a wee bit now. Same with the knees. The knees were insanely stiff, but we do get the double jointed knees here. And then this joint, man, was crazy. This one loosened off a wee bit, thankfully. This one is not budging at the moment. I don't even know if okay, I've got it to move. So you can get the movement in the calf there. Same with the ankle rockers, man. These things I thought were solid. I thought these were glued shut, but I managed to get them moving. Great ankle pivot on this thing, and toe articulation as well. So the articulation is there. I will just say again, I think the proportions are a wee bit off, and yeah, apart from that, this thing's really hard to fault. Double jointed elbows, of course, upper bicep swivel, move them round at the wrist, and you do get the whipping articulation in the wrist there. So articulation, can't fault it. And so there we have it for shiny blue Web Splasher Spider-Man figure. And yeah, this is far from my favourite Spider-Man mode, but it might be my favourite Spider-Man colour scheme used on a figure. I mean, the red's not exactly special, but the blue is, and I think that's the perfect word. The blue is special. There's nothing really comparable to this blue on another Spider-Man figure, and I do wish we saw it on numerous more molds. I would actually love to maybe go and custom something if I found a similar blue. So yeah, I'm really glad to add this to the collection. I do think it is unique in that sense, and yeah, despite my problems with like the head sculpt and stuff, this thing is definitely worth it just to have that colour scheme on Spider-Man. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. While you're down there, guys, if you could do me a massive favour, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'll leave the link to my Instagram in the description below, so feel free to hop on over there and check that out. I'll definitely be posting a lot of pictures of this Spider-Man figure up on there, and feel free to hop on over to the channel page as well. There are plenty of other Spider-Man figure reviews over there, and it would be awesome if you could go and check them out. With all that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching this video right here, and as always, I'll catch yous on the flip-flop later. Cheers.